gratitude is just such an incredibly important idea. It doesn't spell subservience or inferiority. It doesn't sound like somebody who is so ingratiated to another person. It feels like two adults, one recognizing their own value and the other recognizing the value of another person, and that in that space called gratitude, two individuals are negotiating mutual respect and they're negotiating mutuality. I'm grateful to you either for an opportunity you've given me, or I'm grateful to you for allowing me into your life to contribute to your life, and vice versa. So I think it's a really great kind of contractual concept. Gratitude feels to me to be like an edifice being built between consenting adults who come from different political and cultural and historic perspectives. But together, gratitude is an edifice being built in which very different people with very different life stories can come inside and share mutual respect, where we can put down hostilities without naivety, where we can discuss tough issues without pretending that there is no work to be done, and where we can, as you know, the initiative has done in places like Islington, demonstrate the power of being grateful to someone who has served you in public spheres, and celebrate contributions, valid contributions, which might otherwise have gone unnoticed. So I see gratitude not as a very conceptual idea out there somewhere, but actually as a very powerful edifice for mutual respect between very different kinds of people. You've demonstrated in some of the projects you've led that this really can be done, and it starts with, you know, the concept of respect. You don't exchange gratitude if you don't respect someone, really. And I think what this does is give us a different philosophical and relational construct, architecture for public policy, for building neighborhoods, for building community relationships across people of different faiths or none, for grappling with issues of racism and sexism and diversity, for approaching the other with respect, either in a political context or a social context, or indeed a family context. I'd love to see it build on some of the fine work which has already been done. How do we inculcate cultures of gratitude for public servants? We saw that demonstrated during COVID as we, you know, all stepped outside our front doors to applaud National Health Service workers for a number of weeks, and that drew communities together. I'd like to see us build on that kind of ethos, so that in the space we call gratitude, we are starting from that place of mutual respect to talk about really tough issues. And I think the first thing which needs to happen is for people to get inside their head and heart that when we talk about the gratitude initiative, we aren't talking about Black and Asian folks, people of color, swooning in front of our political masters at the Home Office and saying, thank you, thank you, thank you for allowing me to come to the United Kingdom. That would be a total travesty of the concept. We are not talking about people who are on lower social economic status, speaking up to the high and mighty and saying, please give me a job because I'm so grateful. No, we're talking about people of mutual respect, people of mutual value and worth, looking at community relations. It's a different way, I think, of talking about community relationships. It's a different way of talking about why it is that we should not stone ambulance workers as they come to help someone in our community, or throw bricks at the fire service if they come to put out a fire. It's another way of governments exercising their role and responsibility with humility to listen to the migrant, to listen to people of color, to listen to people who they serve in community, and to have that sense of gratitude that, yeah, politicians, public servants cannot run Britain without the hard work, initiative, creativity, and skills of those whom they lead. And I think in this edifice, we have a space to explore a different attitude as we talk and work together. So I think the first thing is that this concept has to get ingrained in people's minds, infiltrate the way we do policy, and infiltrate the way we do public relationships and private relationships as well. From a Christian perspective, it's the Apostle Paul, who, you know, he is your alpha Christian theologian, philosopher, thinker, activist, who had this amazing habit of saying to the people he served in different parts of the Roman Empire, I always give God thanks for you. I mean, I think he exemplified that. Gratitude was the rail on which Paul conducted his relationship with those whom he served. And I think in this kaleidoscope of cultural experiences, which will be a part of that, because I think this will give us a showcase, bringing together a philosophical, a theological, an academic framework for a new way of being people together. And what's so profound about that, and so wise in what you've done in that list of invitees and guests and contributors, is that this isn't a flaky idea which has sort of come off the wall somewhere, or somebody woke up in a cold sweat having had a really interesting dream and come up with this thing called gratitude. Through your own academic work, through others who will come to be a part of that, we're demonstrating that this is a thought through idea which has intellectual and philosophical and political credibility. But I think we'll also be saying, well, in this space, all are welcomed, and all of us come into this framework, this assembly, in order to talk about difficult things and celebrate achievements and try to imagine a future together in the United Kingdom, which isn't a theoretical one. And as I've said repeatedly, not one born of them and us, the high and the low, the great and the not so good, but actually individuals, British citizens and friends coming together to occupy a very unique space in which we try to imagine a better Britain.